symbols. What I'm presenting here are symbols which translate into ancient technology. The trident is ancient technology. It represents authority, power, and control, particularly over the seas and its forces. In Roman myth, Neptune also used the trident to create new bodies of water and cause earthquakes. What are the powers of the devil's trident? Well, the key powers that the owner of the trident is capable of using is the ability to communicate and travel in hell without being detected by anyone. Portals to hell. The owner of this weapon, the trident, can open portals to hell without being detected. Again, some key powers of the trident are the ability to communicate and travel in hell without being detected by anyone. Who's pulling the strings of our leaders? Who are the string masters, the puppet masters? Are they the owner of the trident, the devil's trident? The trident is a magical weapon that grants its wielder great power and the divine right to rule the sea, which is maritime law, which actually, with our birth certificate, is actually the law operating on land. The original trident of Neptune was forged by the Cyclops out of the adamantine and Neptune's own essence. It can manipulate and conjure water, as well as disperse energy in the form of bolts and force field. The trident, we're talking. Okay. The black sun is inner earth. It's a stargate. And higher beings come through stargates. Interdimensional beings come through stargates. The elites are interdimensional beings. Okay? And other words or synonyms for the black sun is Vril, V-R-I-L, CERN, inner earth. And what do we know about inner earth? I've been to Telos, I've been to Mount Shasta, and met some of its inhabitants, both malevolent and benevolent. And Hoover Dam's temple is a particle accelerator. What other particle accelerators do we know? Ever heard of CERN? And where is CERN? Is that where our most wealthiest people live? Yes, that is in Geneva, Switzerland, home of the bankers. CERN is a modern summoning device aligned with the black hole. Outside of CERN, we have an image of Shiva dancing on Kali, the feminine. Shiva is a Hindu god, the destroyer of evildoers, which I find to be an oxymoron. But anyway, Shiva forms the Hindu trinity. All of these creators of all these different black sun, black hole, summoning devices, they are all obsessed with the Trinity. The Hindu Trinity of Shiva, Brahma, and Vishnu form the Hindu Trinity, representing the cosmic functions of creation, preservation, and destruction, or transformation. Shiva is often depicted with a third eye. You can see the eye inside the pyramid, right? We all know that symbol very well. a trident, and so Shiva is depicted with the third eye and a trident, and she is and associated with the lingam, which is a symbolic representation of Shiva's creative power. It's his essence, which is exactly what is summoned from humans by these black cubes, which we know one is in Manhattan, one is at the Mecca, one is under the Vatican, and the fourth one is CERN. CERN. Okay. So they are fascist global leaders. They cannot create, which is why humans they hate. Please do equate. All right. Their free will. Okay. These global leaders chose through free will to be disconnected from source, which means their only way of surviving is to find a host, and that host has to be not synthetic like them. The host has to be living, right? And so that's why we have got to stop feeding the demons, because they are hijacking our energy, whether it be at a soccer game where we get all excited and emotional. There we have our emotions. Emotion is energy in motion, okay? So everybody can think of a different million ways that we become emotion, and how so many things are inflicted upon us to be really emotional, right? So, Shiva also was revered as a great yogi and ascetic, embodying both intense power and serene detachment. Shiva is symbolized by the trident, symbolizing the three aspects of creator, preserver, and destroyer. CERN also proudly hangs the ancient Mayan symbol that we're all familiar with, of the 20 tribes around something that looks like a piece of puzzle with a tongue coming out of the middle of it, okay? And the trident is also associated with the lingam. Now again, the lingam is our essence, okay? And our essence is what is feeding these machines, okay? And symbols, the symbols are what is contracting our essence out of us into the machines. So tacit consent is allowing this to happen by not saying anything, okay? By being a doormat, basically. And anyone that's been a doormat most of their life learns, that that's unhealthy for them and others. And so we learn to start standing up for ourselves, and we learn to support, who we really are and what is best for us. And if we don't do that, we're not happy. Happiness comes when we do what we know is the best for us to do, what's the best for us. So, in Roman myth, Neptune used a trident to create new bodies of water and earthquakes. The powers of the devil's trident, one of the key powers is the ability to communicate in hell without being seen. These leaders are being manipulated like a puppet from from these invisible forces, okay? The ones that cut themselves off from source. That was their free will choice, knowing that the only way they could get what they needed was by siphoning the energy of others, okay? So they're you know, they're like ticks. You know, they need a source to feed off of. You know, they need the blood. They need our essence. So the trident is a magical weapon that grants its wielder great power and the divine right to rule the sea, maritime law. The original trident of Neptune was made out of adamantine and the essence of Neptune. And it can manipulate and conjure water as well as disperse energy in the form of bolts, like lightning bolt, right? And force fields. And skulls symbolize my ability to go into the depth of realms and come out unscathed, because I've purified myself, so I can give birth to an exalted spirit, and I can pull into my being a higher spirit, a higher soul, because I've mastered the abyss and I've overcome the moon abyss. I've mastered the black sun, so my womb is such a clear portal that I can pull in my soul from higher dimensions. And the skull symbolizes the mastery of pulling in your own soul from higher dimensions. And ritual symbols fill that empty space resulting from tacit consent through ignorance. Tacit consent is simply, if I don't say no, I'm saying yes. Or if I don't answer, if I don't respond. And what's the responsibility? It's our responsibility to respond, because within that word responsibility is respond. So again, if I do not answer, I'm saying yes. I'm consenting to what is basically, you know, what's going on or what's being done to me. So let's just remember that these different symbols, the black sun is inner earth. The black sun is a stargate. The black sun symbolizes the left eye. Higher beings come through stargates. Interdimensional beings come through stargates. Whoever controls the stargate in Iran controls, I think, all of them. I think it's kind of like the womb and the heart of the planet, and and that's what the war is all about. It's all about controlling these stargates and what comes through. So I'm not signing over my soul, just to let you know. My words don't need your patrol. Keeping you out of my energy is my primary control, is my primary goal. Keeping you out of my energy is my primary goal. I revoke your bullying control. Rape me of my soul and demand I call you savior? This is what I call demonic behavior.